We are back at Spring Sports Media Day. Joining us now is head baseball coach Mike McCarry. Coach, thanks for joining us. It's a beautiful, I don't want to say it's beautiful outside today when we're doing this, but it's warm.
It's moderate climate.
So that's got to get you like fired up just a little bit.
We played catch outside. We took some ground balls. The rain would not push us away. It's warm,
which is good, and that's what the beauty of turf is. You can still get some stuff. Maybe those ground balls will just skid a little bit faster.
Right.
And
you have to play in it anyway.
Exactly, and stuff too. So, and it would upset me as a player knowing that I'm out practicing in February, and then I'm in April. I'm probably going to be playing in colder weather because the weather up here is just crazy.
Yeah. Way colder.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we did just talk to Julian Thompson. He's from Albany, so I said, "Oh, you're more than used to playing ball."
We like recruiting north of us because it makes it easier.
And that's what I said. He was offered. So, since we talked to Julian, you talk about him a little bit.
He's probably the best defensive shortstop in the country.
Good.
He's got tools across the board, and coming off a year where he really fought through a shoulder injury, I think he's headed for big things in 2022.
And that's exciting. And when I talked to him, I did mention that he wears number 9, which is a Rickert family staple. Like all the Rickerts who've ever played baseball, including myself, have to wear number 9.
It's a long lineage of excellence.
Yes, of course, and stuff too. So, and then we're talking about the weather. So just talk about the challenges of coaching a junior college in Northeast Pennsylvania in January and February.
Listen, the first challenge is during the recruiting process, you have to be honest about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult during this part of the year. It's about getting as close to game-like reps as you can without a field or a game.
Right.
Consistently.
Yep.
So it's using Electric City's cages all the time. It's using machines. It's getting outside whenever the weather allows. And just understanding that the curve of our development is going to be a little bit different than other teams based on when we start playing games.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yep.
The end goal is at the end of the season.
Now, is this year 3 or 4 for you?
This is my 4th.
This is your 4th year.
Yep.
So in your first 3 years, 2 World Series appearances.
Yes,
so,
and then a pandemic. So I didn't.
Yeah, so that doesn't count. So that year doesn't even count. So it's your 3rd year coaching.
Yep.
So are we to expect a 3rd World Series appearance?
That is the goal, and the goal is to advance in the World Series this year.
Right.
But I understand the history. I don't believe anybody in Region 19 has won 3 years in a row.
Okay.
I don't know that the Eastern District representative has ever been the same team 3 years in a row. And this job's difficult. You're on a 2-year recruiting cycle. Right. Your guys are in and out. There's a lot of variables. So we just try and play a game at a time, understanding that all of that math doesn't preclude us from doing something nobody's ever done before.
Right. So, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because that leads perfectly up to my next question, as if we rehearsed this, but we didn't. So, with that turnover of the roster all the time, how is this 2022 different than the 21 team?
I think I talk about it with the kids all the time because I don't want them to have to live up to somebody else.
Right.
We're deeper.
Okay.
Whereas in years past, I think the top end of our roster was 12, 13, 14 guys. Okay. I think I can look at it and say I'm 20 deep this year. Now, maybe the drawback is the top 2 or 3 aren't as high level.
Okay.
Maybe they are.
Right.
Maybe they grow into
Right, and like I said, we're in the Northeast, so you haven't really.
But I think we're going to win games with just a volume of competency and talent. We're going to have more better players than the other teams, as opposed to just the better players.
Right. And and depth is important in all sports, right? You need guys that come off the bench in basketball and all that stuff.
And I think we could sustain injury or issues at multiple positions and be okay.
Right.
And that's a good place to be.
Has anyone really surprised you or stood out during the fall and then early on, this spring that said, all right, this is the guy we didn't expect to even compete for a position, and he may get at bats or do something.
I think we really late in the recruiting process during the summer, we got 2 phone calls from 2 outfielders, Eli Riley and Christian Rush, who both were guys that were at other places where they didn't see the field for a year or took a post-grad year. And they're both guys and those are wild card guys. You don't have any information on them.
Yep.
I think they both contribute heavily to winning.
Good.
They're very athletic. They can hit the ball. They can play multiple spots. Christian can even pitch, and he's left-handed. They're those kind of things where we answered an email, and I think we're going to get a lot of benefit out of just doing the office work, essentially.
And again, it's scripted beautifully because my next question was going to be, because you mentioned, a left-handed pitcher. Of course, games are always won and lost, and I talked about with Coach Pittman, on the mound and what you throw behind them, stuff.
Sure.
So how do you look pitching staff-wise?
I think there's a lot of depth. I think we have the benefit of returning Kyle Scott, who was as good as any right-handed pitcher in the country last year. And he's recently committed to the University of Maryland. It's about filling in those innings that are vacated by Zach Claypack, who's at Delaware now.
Right.
And we have a whole lot of guys who I think can fill those shoes both new guys and returning guys that have taken a step forward, where I feel really good, much like I talk about the whole roster, I feel really good 1 through 10 or 11 pitching staff-wise.
Good.
Where in previous years I only felt good maybe 1 through 7 or 8.
Now, will you use one of those 1 through 10 as like a guy who's like, all right, we got to close this game out?
I think so.
He's going to be our guy that's going to come in and just shut it down in the 9th or the 7th, wherever,
I try not to draw conclusions until the end of spring break.
Right.
So that's 14 games. I can mix and match with different people and stuff. Obviously, I know who has the stuff that I think can do it.
Right.
But we got to experiment with how their brain reacts.
Yeah.
That's what spring break's for, is to figure that out.
Right. How's the Twitter game going? All right. Because Falcon baseball Twitter is really on point. During the season, who is in charge of that? Is that you?
It is not. That has been a long-standing pitching staff tradition.
Okay.
That has been passed from Jordan Art and Dominic Verastro to Jason Carpenter.
Okay.
And Jason's in his 3rd year with us now. But Jason figures to be on the field a whole lot.
Right.
He's got to start training the next wave
Yeah.
of GIF tweeters and score updaters.
Good. Because that's important. That's important stuff, and I know people are going to be need to look for that.
I get more texts at the end of the game if we don't do the Twitter than I do if we do the Twitter and win.
Which we don't know which is if that's good or bad. We don't know if that's good or bad or stuff too. And then one last question. Support staff is very important. So just especially being a 2-year school, with just like our players come and go, like our coaches leave for other opportunities and bigger and better things and stuff too. So just talk a little bit about your support staff.
So Josh Boggs enters his 3rd year with us as pitching coach,
Okay.
and really he's kind of the head assistant. He runs all the day-to-day stuff with me.
Okay.
In January, we had to make a change at hitting coach. Robert Riggins, who was with us during the fall, took a job with the San Francisco Giants.
Good.
And it's actually the 2nd year in a row where we've lost a coach to pro ball midway through the year. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're the place to trampoline from here to
and that
bigger
just helps
things.
get the next guy in.
Yes, and so in that same hiring cycle, Tyler Jeske was his contract wasn't renewed with the Angels.
Okay.
Tyler was looking for an opportunity, and he decided to link on with us. So we lose a guy to pro ball, we inherit a guy from pro ball.
Yeah.
And much like the players come to us, we're the place that you can prove what you can do and go back out.
Which makes this place special.
It is.
It's just as long as you don't want to go on and then they can improve somewhere else.
Everybody else is allowed to leave except for me.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Which is fine. Coach Duda has been here for like 75 years.
Yes.
So you could just try to string that along with him and stuff too.
I'm not as imposing.
He's not watching this, so he's not gonna know we just said he's been here for that long and stuff too. But best of luck this year. Have a great season.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Falcon baseball coach, Coach McCarry. We'll be back. Spring Media Day. Take flight.